I don't know what's going on, but these books are clearly trying to trip me over with words today, and it's working. And thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we're doing some anticipated book releases for May and June. Not all the books that are coming out in those 2 months because we would be here for ages, but these are the ones that I've cherry picked that I really like the sound of. I try and do this in publication order date. However, I usually mess this up, so I will have the picture of the book and the release date according to Goodreads relative to the day that I'm filming this, that information is correct. But I think we get the idea, so let's go straight into it. The first book that I'm excited for is Thorn by Kat Dunn, and this is out on the 4th of May. Kat Dunn is an author that I've read from before. I really like her YA historical fantasy series, and this one starts with Dangerous Remedy. I always get the two titles mixed up, but Dangerous Remedy. That's a really fun book. It's based on the French Revolution and also Frankenstein influences. I really like it. It's really fun. So when I heard that this book was coming out, it's nothing to do with those books, but I'm really intrigued by it. So let's do the synopsis. Blumwald is a town overshadowed by an ancient curse. In a sinister castle in the depths of the wild wood lives a monstrous witch. Once a generation she comes to claim a companion to return with her, never to be seen again. Now time is drawing near once more. Obviously, I wanted it for that. Like, witches? Yes, please. Sounds great. And a curse and everything. But it does continue to say, Mina, daughter of the Duke, is grieving and lonely. She has lost all hope of any future for herself in Blumwald. So when the witch demands her next companion, Mina offers herself up. Though she has no idea what fate awaits her, stranded with her darkly alluring captor, the mystery of what happened to the previous companions draw Mina into the heart of a terrifying secret that could save her life or end it. To be fair, this book is giving me Uprooted vibes. I haven't read that one by Naomi Novik, but it gives me the similar vibes to that. This sort of a story we have seen done before, but I am really intrigued by it and to see how Kat Dunn does it, especially because, like I say, I've liked her other books. So that is the first one. The next book I'm interested in is Our Hideous Progeny, and this is by C.E. McGill. This is a book that I found out because of TikTok. Honestly, it's a good place for book recommendations. I'm not sure if it's out already or not. It's not saying when it's due out, but from what I had, it was also the 4th of May, but Goodreads isn't showing anything, so I'm not sure. But this is one that I was intrigued by because the TikToker that was talking about it says Frankenstein influences, so obviously I want it. This one is Mary is the great niece of Victor Frankenstein. She knows her great uncle disappeared in mysterious circumstances in the Arctic, but she doesn't know why or how. The 1850s is a time of discovery and London is ablaze with the latest scientific theories and debates, especially when a spectacular new exhibition of dinosaur sculptures opens at Crystal Palace. Love that park, by the way. Mary, with a sharp mind and a sharper tongue, is keen to make her name in this world of science alongside her geologist husband Henry, but without wealth and connections their options are limited. But when Mary discovers some old family papers that allude to the shocking truth behind her great uncle's past, she thinks she may have found the key to securing their future. The quest takes them to the wilds of Scotland to Henry's intriguing but reclusive sister Maisie, and to the deadly chase with a rival who is out to steal their secret. It does sound absolutely amazing. I love the cover of this, and we all know I love a good retelling. Of course, I'm going to read another book that's influenced by Frankenstein. Okay, so the next book is A Crown of Ivy and Glass. This is by Claire Legrand, and this one is out the 9th of May. Claire Legrand is an author that I've also read other works from. I read her Furyborn series. I keep looking this way because I've got it up on bookshelves over here. I really enjoyed that trilogy, so I'm very intrigued to see what this one's going to be about. I'm not sure if it's a YA fantasy series like her previous one or not, but this is another trilogy. Lady Gemma Ashbourne seemingly has it all. She's young, gorgeous and rich. Her family was anointed by the gods, blessed with incredible abilities. But underneath her glittering facade, Gemma is deeply sad. Years ago, her sister Mara was taken to Middlemist to guard against treacherous magic. Her mother abandoned their family. Her father and eldest sister Farron, embroiled in a deadly blood feud with the mysterious Basque family, often forget that Gemma exists. Worst of all, Gemma is the only Ashbourne to possess no magic. Instead, her body fights it like poison. Constantly ill, aching with loneliness, Gemma craves love and yearns to belong. Ooh, okay. And then we're meeting someone that is devastatingly handsome. His family destroyed themselves, seduced by a demon. There seems like there's a lot going on. It does sound like it's another YA fantasy, to be honest. I don't mind that. I think it's going to be an interesting one. I'm intrigued to give it a try. Like I said, I liked her previous fantasy series. I thought it was really good. So it'll be nice to carry on with her new book. I know I don't give a lot of information about these, but obviously I haven't read them yet, so it's a bit of an awkward one. But the next one, Orphea and Eurydice, and this is by Elise John. And again, it says publication date May, but it doesn't have an actual date. And this is a thrilling story about unconventional love, the power of creativity, and the courage of women who struggle to make their voices heard. And this is fans of Jennifer Saint and Madeline Miller. Hence the reason why I wanted it. I don't actually know anything else about it, but I am guessing that this is some sort of Greek myth retelling because of Madeline Miller and Jennifer Saint, because that's what they're known for. But I love both of those authors, so of course I'm interested in this book. So this one says, Orphea dreams of something more than the warrior craft she's been forced to learn. Hidden away on a far-flung island, her blood sings with poetry and her words can move flowers to bloom and forests to grow. But her father, the sun god Apollo, has forbidden her art. A chance meeting with a young shield maker, Eurydice, gives her the courage to use her voice. After wielding all her gifts to defeat one final champion, Orphea draws the scrutiny of the gods. Performing her poetry, she wins the protection of the goddess of arts, the powerful Muses, who welcome her to the sanctuary on Mount Parsinus. Orphea learns to hone her talents, crafting words of magic infused with history, love, and tragedy. When Eurydice joins her, Orphea struggles with her desire for fame and her budding love. As her bond with the gentle shield maker grows, she joins the Argonauts on their quest for the Golden Fleece. Ooh! Facing dragons, sirens, and ruthless warriors on the voyage, Orphea earns unparalleled fame, but she longs to return to Eurydice. Yet she has a darker journey to make, one which will see her fight for her love with all the power of her poetry. Ooh, is this a slight gender swap then? Because I've read, random tangent here, but I've read Argo by Mark Knowles. I didn't love that. That was a retelling of Jason and the Argonauts, and one of the people that were in that was it Orpheus? I don't know. I can't remember the name of him, but he was someone that would sing and do lots of like things. So I wonder whether that has anything to do with it. And he was always very sad. I think, so this is definitely Greek myth, but Jason and the Argonauts is not something I know a lot of. So, oh, I'm so intrigued. I cannot wait to read this one. This is going to be great. Okay, I don't know when it's coming out in May, but you can guarantee I'm going to be getting it. The next one is Savage Beasts, which I do believe is another Greek myth retelling. But let me get it up. Yes, it is. So this is a Medea retelling, and this is by Rani Selvja. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, I'm so sorry. But this is a Indian-based retelling of Medea, which I am very intrigued about. And again, I heard about this one through TikTok. So this is set in 1757. Calcutta is on the brink of war with the East India Company, led by the fearsome Sir Peter Chilcot, is quickly advancing. The Nawab's neglected daughter, Mina, is desperate to escape her gilded cage, and when she meets the intriguing James Chilcot, nephew of Sir Peter, she finds herself falling under his spell. James is different from the white men she has been taught to fear, and the lovers find themselves fleeing Calcutta with blood on their hands and stolen gold in their pockets. As Mina finds herself in a foreign land with no one to turn to, she is forced to find out what she is willing to sacrifice when love turns to hate. James is going to be Jason from the Argonauts. Ooh, 2 books that are similar to that. Interesting. And Mina is Medea. So in the actual Greek myth story, Medea helps Jason to steal the Golden Fleece, and then they flee back together. But their love story is not a love story, and so I'm really intrigued to see how this is going to be done, especially with the spin on it, with being based in India and just having that. I think that's going to be really good. I feel, oh, this is going to be really good. Oh, and this one doesn't have a date on Goodreads either. Honestly, maybe I should stop using Goodreads because it's not that helpful for dates. But the date that I found was the 25th of May. So another Greek myth. Oh my gosh, we've got loads in May. I'm actually really excited for all of these. On the 25th of May again, we have Psyche and Eros, and this is by Luna McNamara. I'm having a terrible time today trying to pronounce anything. And this is what happens when a god of love falls in love. A prophecy claims that Psyche, princess of Mycenae, will conquer a monster feared by the gods. Beloved by her family but at odds with society's expectations for women, Psyche trains to become a hero, mastering blade and bow. When Psyche angers Aphrodite, the love goddess enlists Eros, god of desire, to help deliver a cruel curse. Eros is the last born of the eldest gods, dry-witted and jaded, unsure of his place in the cosmos. The last thing he wants is to become involved in the chaos of the mortal world, but when he pricks himself with the arrow intended for Psyche, Eros is doomed to yearn for a woman who'll be torn from him the moment their eyes meet. Oh, it's going to be so good. Sounds amazing. So yeah, okay, so 3 books that are all Greek myth retellings, but I do love Greek myth retellings. As much as this year I want to prioritise fairy tale and folklore stories, which I've spoken about loads, I do still love my Greek myths, and there's something that I'm still going to get whenever a new one comes out, and I will eventually get around to them. Okay, so the next book, Ink Blood Sister Scribe, and this is by Emma Torres. And this comes out on the 30th of May, and this is a debut novel. We have 2 estranged half-sisters tasked with guarding their family's library of magical books must work together to unravel a deadly secret at the heart of their collection. A tale of family loyalty, betrayal, and the pursuit of magic and power. The reason why I'm really intrigued by this is because it says if you like Ninth House, the magicians, practical magic, so of course I want to know what's going on. So in this one we have 4 generations, the Catalet family has guarded a collection of ancient and rare books, books that lead a person to walk through walls or manipulate elements, books of magic. Half-sisters Joanna and Esther have been raised to revere and protect. All magic comes with a price though, and for years the sisters have been separated. Esther has fled to a remote base in Antarctica to escape the fate that killed her own mother, and Joanna's isolated herself in the family home in Vermont, devoting her life to study these cherished volumes. But after their father suddenly dies while reading a book Joanna has never seen before, the sisters must reunite. It does sound good. I am really intrigued by this one, and I love that cover. It's so gorgeous. Okay, now we're going into June. Now, I know in May there is Yellowface coming out by R.F. Kuang. I'm really not sure if I'm going to get it or not. I've read The Poppy War, didn't really get on with it. I've read Babel, really liked the themes but didn't get on with the character and the pacing, so I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about this book. I just don't know if R.F. Kuang's for me, so that's why I haven't mentioned it, but loads of other booktubers will have mentioned this book and getting very excited for it because she is a beloved author. I don't know. I probably will give it a try, but it's not one I'm anticipating. Hence why it's not on this list, but I did just want to briefly mention it. Okay, so June, we have The First Bright Thing, and this is by J.R. Dawson, and to be fair, this book was brought to my attention because of Abby when she was doing her anticipated releases, so thank you very much. And this one, she said, for fans of like Night Circus, so of course I was then there because I love Night Circus. I think that's an amazing book. So let's actually read the synopsis. Ringmaster Rin, to those who know her best, can jump to different moments in time as easily as her wife Odette soars from bar to bar on the trapeze. And the circus they lead is a rare home and safe haven for magical misfits and outcasts known as Sparks. With the world still reeling from World War I, Rin and her troupe, the Circus of Fantasticals, travel the Midwest, offering a single night of enchantment and respite to all who step into their big top. But threat comes from all sides. The future holds an impending war that the Sparks can see barreling toward their show and everyone in it. Rin's past creeps closer every day, and a malevolent shadow she can't escape. Interesting. I'm intrigued because it says if you like Night Circus then you might like this, so that's why I'm interested in it, and again, thank you to Abby for bringing that one to my attention. The next one is Speak of the Devil. Oh, I didn't say when that one was coming out, did I? It's on the screen anyway. Okay, so Speak of the Devil by Rose Waldin, and this one comes out on the 13th of June as well, and this is more of like a mystery one, which I am really intrigued by, and this one says, all of us knew him, one of us killed him. That was it. That's all I needed to know. Of course I wanted it because I do love a good murder. Now, this says, 7 women stand in shock in a seedy hotel room. A man's severed head sits at the centre of the floor. Each of the women, the wife, the teenager, the ex, the journalist, the colleague, the friend, and the woman who raised him, have a very good reason to have done it. Yet each swears she did not. In order to protect each other, they must figure out who is responsible, all while staying one step ahead of the police. Against the ticking clock of a murder investigation, each woman's secret is brought to light as the connections between them converge to reveal a killer. I'm really intrigued by this. I think it's going to be so interesting to see all the different connections, to see what's going on. So yes, this is definitely one that I cannot wait to read. I think it's going to be really good. Okay, so then we have Madalina and the Dark, and this is by Julia Fine. And can we just appreciate this cover? Stunning, absolutely stunning. And again, this one's 13th of June, and it says at the very top, for fans of the invisible life of Addie LaRue. Yep, I'm there. That is all I needed to know because I love Addie LaRue so much. But we have VNS 1717, 15-year-old Louisa has only wanted one thing, to be the best at violin. As a student at Ospedale della Pieta, I don't know what's going on, but these books are clearly trying to trip me over with words today, and it's working. But she hopes to join the highest ranks of its illustrious girls' orchestra and become a protege of the great Antonio Vivaldi. Louisa is good at violin, but she is not the best. She has peers, but she does not have friends until Madalina. After a scandal threatens her noble family's reputation, Madalina is sent to the Pieta to preserve her marriage prospects. When she meets Louisa, Madalina feels the stirrings of her friendship unlike anything she has known. But Madalina has a secret. She has hatched a dangerous plot to rescue her future her own way. When she invites Louisa into her plans, promising to make her dreams come true, Louisa doesn't hesitate. But every wager has a price, and as the girls are drawn into the decadent world outside of the Pietia's walls, they must decide what they truly want and what they will pay for it. It sounds so good. I cannot wait. And that cover, I know I've said it already, but that cover is just absolutely gorgeous. I think this book is going to be really dark and decadent, and I cannot wait to read this one. On the 20th of June, we have Garden of the Cursed by Katie Rose Paul. This was a really interesting cover that kind of drew me in, and it's a YA fantasy mystery duology. That's the start of it. So I'm intrigued. That seems like an interesting crossover of two things that I like, which is fantasy and mystery. But we have, since fleeing the gilded halls of Evergarden for the muck-filled canals of the marshes, Marlowe Briggs has made a name for herself as the best goddamn cursebreaker in Kansas City. But no matter how many cases she solves, she is still haunted by the mystery of her mother's disappearance. When Adrius Felcrest, Marlowe's old friend and scion of one of Kaza's most affluent spell-making families, asks her to help break a curse, a life-threatening curse, Marlowe wants nothing to do with the boy who spurned her a year ago, but a new lead in her mother's case makes Marlowe realise that the only way to get the answers she desperately seeks is to help Adrius and return to Evergarden society, even if it means suffering through a fake love affair with him to avoid drawing suspicion from the conniving five families. Ooh, okay, so let's get straight. We have a mystery, a disappearance of her mother. We have curse breakers and magic going on, and we have fake dating. I feel like that's going to be a good time. That sounds like a good time. Okay, the last couple, we have A Most Agreeable Murder, and this is out on the 17th of June, and this is by Julia Sills, and this one just looks beautiful. Absolutely lovely. But the reason why I was interested in this one is because if you grew up reading Jane Austen and Agatha Christie, you will adore A Most Agreeable Murder. Added it to the list. That was it. Haven't even read the rest of it. I like Jane Austen and I like Agatha Christie, and having a mix of those two sounds absolutely delightful. So we have feisty, passionate Beatrice Steele has never fit the definition of a true lady. According to the strict code of conduct that reigns in Swampshire, her small English township, she is terrible at needlework, has absolutely no musical ability, and her artwork is so bad it frightens people. That's hilarious. Nevertheless, she lives a perfectly agreeable life with her marriage-scheming mother, prankster father, and two younger sisters, beautiful Louisa and forgettable Mary. But she harbours a dark secret. She is obsessed with the true crime cases she reads about in the newspaper. If anyone in her etiquette-obsessed community found out, she'd be deemed a morbid creep and banished from respectable society forever. For her family's sake, she's vowed to put her obsession behind her because eligible bachelor Edmund Croaksworth is set to attend the approaching autumn ball, and the Steele family hopes that Louisa will steal his heart. If not, Martin Grubb and their disgusting cousin will inherit the family's estate, and they will be ruined, or even worse, forced to move to France. So Beatrice must be on her best behaviour, which is made difficult when a disgraced yet alluring detective inexplicably shows up to the ball. Honestly, this sounds like Pride and Prejudice. Is this a retelling of Pride and Prejudice? This sounds like that. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I love the setting, and yeah, okay, well, we're definitely getting this one, 100%. I was anyway, but that really does sound like a Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice retelling. Sounds great. Then the very last one we have is, oh, another Jane Austen inspired book. We have Manslaughter Park, and again this is out on the 27th, and this is by Tazara Price. Now technically this is the third in the Jane Austen murder mystery series. I read the first one, which was Pride and Premeditation, and I liked it, but I wasn't massively engrossed, but this one really caught my attention, so I may read the second book and then get this one. I haven't decided, but this cover, how could I say no to that cover? It just looks so good. But this one is a retelling of Mansfield Park, and this one says, Mansfield Park is the centre of a deadly accident, or is it? Aspiring artist Fanny Price is an unwelcome guest at her uncle Sir Thomas Bertram's estate. It's his affection for Fanny that's keeping her from being forced out by their cousins Tom and Maria and nasty Aunt Norris, back to a home in which she never wants to return. But then Sir Thomas dies in a tragic accident inside his art emporium, and Fanny finds evidence of foul play, if revealed, could further jeopardise her already precarious position. So I think the way that these are done, I don't know whether you need to have read them in order, but it does say at the end of this that Fanny, in a surprising twist of fate, with the help of Lizzie Bennet and Fitzwilliam Darcy, like they kind of get together and solve all of this. So I'm really intrigued. I did like Mansfield Park. I really enjoyed that story. I thought it was a really nice one by Jane Austen, so I do want to read this one. I just need to find out whether I need to read the second book first or not. But this sounds delightful as well. Like, I am intrigued by this one. So there we go. Those are all the books that I am eagerly anticipating in May and June. As we can see, there is lots of Greek myth retellings, there is lots of books inspired by other books that I really enjoy, other classics, and a few like fairy tale-esque type things as well, which I'm hoping for. Like, they've got witchy vibes and stuff. I don't know whether they're going to be rooted in any fairy tales or not, but we'll see. But that's it for this video. I am thoroughly exhausted, very thirsty, and very hungry, so I'm going to go. I've been filming for absolutely ages. Let me know what's a book that you're anticipating in the next couple of months that maybe wasn't on this list, or are the ones that I've mentioned ones that you're now excited for. Or let me know in the comments below. If you've made it this far, then let's leave a little present emoji in the comments. And thank you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it that thumbs up, subscribe and comment to let me know that you're here. As I always say, those three things are so helpful to helping this channel grow, so thank you so much. My social media links and anyone I've mentioned will be in the description box below, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.